I'd like to share a little something with you that ties in with our discussion. And I draw this from Reverend Raymond Bradley's article. This is a big word. The psychophysiology of intuition, a quantum holographic theory of non-local communication. And we know about non-local communication, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what he has to share with us is that science has found that the reception and interpretation of non-local information is a fundamental aspect of all physical and biological organizations. Fundamental aspect, it's natural. And that this ability may be through a quantum entanglement, meaning that we are here, but not here. Well, there's one to set your mind in action. What do you mean here and not here? Well, that's an altogether different lesson there. But he goes on to tell us that at the molecular level, matter absorbs and transmits energy from and into nature's underlying quantum field. And the object's coherence is reflected in that field and carries the history of that object. And this occurs through quantum coherence and emissions. Again, there's that in and out, in and out. This is part of what we're exploring in our spiritual toolbox, or will be. Because our self, our inner selves, that's the quantum aspect of the physical body. And our teacher a few weeks ago was talking to us about the body having memory and the mind having memory. This ties in with that very neatly, because it tells us that the body, or this lectern here, better yet, is communicating with us, is communicating with nature. You're familiar with psychometry, right? That's what this is. It's the scientific version of what psychometry is, except it expands it to living objects. So if I were to touch one of you, I could just gaze into your past. Ooh, no more hugs. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
I'll comment. That might explain why one morning, it was recent when I was meditating. I realized I could see like the biosphere of the chair next to me. There was light emanating from it. I'm like, wow, how cool is that?
Yep. Now imagine being able to touch that field. You remember doing that?
Yeah, it's electrifying.
Everything has a biofield. And, for instance, this pen, and this would be rather difficult to feel, but you bring your hand up to it, you feel that slight resistance there. Well, that's probably my hand because it should be closer than that. But that slight resistance is much closer to the object. Now, when you do it with yourself, you feel it's almost as though it's pushing away, it's pulsing. But when you do it with an object, that sensation is different. It's constant, it's static, it doesn't fluctuate. Ours fluctuates because we are composed of a variety of systems, a coherence or resonance of systems. So it pulses. Isn't that cool? Any other thoughts or comments?
I experience some of that when I do Qigong with myself, moving the energies and stuff.
Exactly, because that field begins to move with your breath and your focus, because your focus is on movement. We're going to do some of that in our class as we progress. We have to get through the meditation portion, which is going to be at least 2 classes,
Okay.
maybe 3, but at least 2. So absolutely, Qigong, Tai Chi, that's all about moving your chi about throughout your body and healing. The energetic healing, that is actually where you are directing your chi outside the body.
Can you explain that a little more? You're directing your own chi outside your body?
Yes, yes.
We're covering that in class then, right?
No, that won't be covered in class. That would be part of a healing class. But the way the practice is, and this is with everything, where the mind goes, so does everything else. So if you are doing a healing, even on yourself, if you are doing a healing, if you are focused on that, you are focusing on your chi. When I am standing here behind the chair, working with your aura and everything, I'm focusing not only on reaching into your biofield and moving it around, but I'm also focusing on moving my energy, my healing energy, my chi. There's a variety of names for it. Our problem is there are too many words. So we don't know exactly what we're talking about. But when we are focusing our energy on someone, we are casting our chi out. Think of, well, there are other things where we do that as well. Clairvoyance. Or if we are traveling outside of the body, that's still our chi. And when we stand in the room and we look around and we see our body, our chi is outside of the body. Different type of focus, but it's all comes down to essentially the same thing. That's the nice thing about all of these teachings is no matter where you go, what religion you look at, what spiritual dogma you investigate, it all says the same thing with different words. So it's not really an us versus them. It's like when we talked about spirituality in our class and we talked about religion, the religion is essentially the doctrine. It's the doctrine that tells us to stay away from these people. It's the doctrine that tells us these people are no good. They're bad for us. But if you move past the doctrine into the religion itself, then it's altogether different. Altogether different. Because one of the things that Jesus taught was, when you look at me, you see the Father, and I am in you. One of the most important teachings there is that we are all connected because we're all inside of each other. Now, how's that for a bag of nightmares when you go to sleep, huh? Yeah, it's a lot to take in, but you will only take in what you are prepared to accept. So you don't have to worry about that, but it does give you something to think about. So, any other thoughts or comments? Thank you for allowing me to share this with you. Thank you for your comments. Just leave that alone.